Welcome to the program on Incoterms. Incoterms is nothing but international commerce term developed by International Chamber of Commerce. This is very helpful in international trade, especially in the import and export. We have to be clear on terms of sale while we are purchasing or selling the goods. And Incoterms is there for more than 50 years and any any professional who are involved in logistics or international trade, they should be aware about various terms used in the international trade. There are two main things. One is knowledge on cost, various cost element involved, and the risk involved should be understood. If you take, for example, you are importing a consignment, say from one Chinese city, which is not on the shore, maybe inside China, and you are trying to get this consignment to your destination, which could be somewhere inside India, and you are trying to get this through some container by sea mode. So there are various aspects. One is container has to be stopped at the supplier place, and there is a local transportation from this city to the nearest port, and in the port there are some activity involved like unloading, loading, custom clearance, and then making insurance for this transit, then coming to the actual transit, and when it comes to Indian shores, it should be downloaded and processed for customs clearance, and once duty is paid, it should be taken to the premises of the buyer. So you can see there are cost elements involved at various stages. And coming to the risk, we should know who is the ownership at various places, whether is it a buyer or the seller. So accordingly, depending upon the risk and the cost element, whether who is going to take it, whether it's a seller or buyer, there are different Incoterms are possible, and this has to be clearly defined in the purchase order so that there is no dispute, because it may be very easy in the domestic trade, but when it comes to international trade, all things has to be very clear and it should be agreed before you start doing any business. So starting from a simple area, for example, exports is one of the Incoterms, and there you can see that seller is having minimum responsibility in terms of cost as well as risk. Buyer is taking entire responsibility. Buyer organizes to pick up this consignment, do insurance, then make custom clearance arrangement at exporting country, arrange a shipment, and then when it comes to the domestic area, he arranges custom clearance and then gets the item. So you can see at one end, seller having minimum responsibility, buyer having maximum responsibility, and other end you have something called DDP, delivered duty paid. Here you will see that seller is having maximum responsibility and buyer is having minimum responsibility. Here seller is going to arrange all the process till it is delivered to the buyer premises. Of course, all this are paid by the buyer. Here the question is who is going to arrange this, and what is the amount involved, and at what stage you are going to make the payment, and who is going to take risk in the sense if the container is lost, who is going to file the claim and coordinate with the insurance agencies. So these things are discussed in our program. There are different grouping under 10 headings, where what are the seller obligation and buyer obligation in each of the category. In fact, there are 11 Incoterms. Of course, this is though used for all the modes in the international trade. Certain things are specific only to the sea mode, and in US they also use it for domestic transactions. Okay, so in our program we are going to discuss in detail about each of these 11 Incoterms, and we can also see which Incoterm is more suitable, or when you can select a particular Incoterm for your organization. Okay, this type of program is rarely available, and based on my experience, I have collected all the information and put it in a precise format, easy to understand, so that if you are a beginner in the logistic field, it will be of great help to you. Request you to enroll for the program. Thanks and bye.